Teaching number 210. I come to rid you of the torment in which your materialism has plunged you into, giving you the lamp with which you can illuminate your path. You are the men of the third era, those who will truly know the purpose of your life, and I come to help you obtain that knowledge through my revelations. You are the men of the new time in which my kingdom seeks your heart to rise up in it, in which you will make good of your spiritual ideal and you will learn that the best prayer is that of your works. Love and truth correspond to the Spirit, from it arises wisdom because it was created to love and know its Father. I, the Master, come to shake you with the memories of your spiritual past, that your heart does not know because they belong to the Spirit, when it lived its true existence, when your home was another and you did not yet inhabit this body that now you have, which is a crucible, an anvil and a lesson for the Spirit. I bring you memories of the spiritual life, hidden behind the veil of your corporeality, to tell you that this life awaits you again, so that you come to fully enjoy it after your pilgrimage, your experience and your evolution. When you return to your eternal home and feel the joy of inhabiting it, you will never tire of blessing this world of tears where you came to learn to appreciate happiness, peace and light. My new coming, now in spirit, has the purpose of reminding you of the path of the law that will unite you with the Absolute, that will bring you into the universal harmony, and when you are part of that divine harmony, when you feed on the bread of my wisdom, you will truly know who you are. What can make you cry in the world when you are above the pettiness of human life? Neither suffering, needs, the moral tests, nor the forces of nature, nothing will be able to defeat or discourage you when you have attained true spirituality. Your sufferings will be for others, your concerns will be for the salvation of all men, and every time you contemplate the salvation of a being, you will feel the light of the Father illuminating your interior and you will be blessing the day in which you gave the first firm step on the path. My word is the spiritual path that you must enter with all your senses, with all your understanding and all your love, if you want to know where you have come from and where you are going. No one knows themselves. If you do not yet know your body, how do you think you know your spirit? But you will get to know yourselves as you practice my divine teachings. I teach you with the Word, because it contains everything, since it comes from me who is the Word. You learn to speak of the spiritual in such a way that every word you give to others passes from your heart to the heart of your brother as if it were a pearl, a jewel of infinite value. Learn to speak to the spirits, teach them to hear the voice of their conscience, sensitize their feelings with my teachings. See how all my sentences follow the path that guides you, and even if you look at them superficially for now, tomorrow, when you can penetrate a higher plane, you will find only essence in my word. I do not descend, people, when I tell you that I have descended to you, it is in a figurative sense, because my communication is through an inspiration that forms ideas in the minds of these spokespersons. As I know that at the moment of listening to these messages you cannot understand them, not even retain them in memory, I have ordered that you write my words, so that what you do not understand now, tomorrow little by little, you will understand. My manifestation of this time is very poor in appearance, because its splendor is spiritual, but you will already feel the greatness with which I have come to you and you will see this doctrine work the miracle of saving humanity through spirituality. The spiritual temple built with love by the children of the Lord, will be supported by many columns, each of which will be one of those who firmly remain on the path of my law. Don't you think it's possible? It is that you still do not have faith in yourselves, but I do have faith in everyone. I have always had it, and that is why through the ages I have come to entrust you with new and greater revelations. Truly I tell you that the day is not far away when you give teachings of profound wisdom to your brothers, but not with the word that is studied but with the one that springs from the source of the Spirit when one is in communion with the Divine Master. Why should it not be possible for good feelings to spring from barren hearts? Why should it not be possible that from the hearts of those who have sinned, water of grace springs up to quench the thirst of those who suffer? You are not only minds that think today and not tomorrow, you are not only flesh that throbs today and soon ceases to exist. For me, first of all you are eternal spirits, children of God, and for this reason I trace the path that truly corresponds to you. I do not come to deprive you of anything that I have deposited in this nature for the preservation, health, sustenance, well-being and enjoyment of my children. On the contrary, I tell you that just as I offer the bread of the Spirit and invite you to inhale divine essences and saturate yourselves with spiritual outpouring, do not ignore or distance yourself from what nature offers you, since in this way you will achieve harmony, health, energy, and therefore, good compliance with the laws of life. You know that I am your guide, people, but tell me, if I am your guide, do you already feel me in your heart? Do you already obey me? Do you already abide by my commandments and my laws? If I am your guide, to what extent do you obey me? The voice of conscience is the one who answers from within you, telling me that your dedication is not yet absolute, that your obedience is not constant. Do not forget for a moment that in my word I tell you that whoever obeys my laws knows my peace. That is why those who know my word do not feel alone or sad, because for them the words disgrace, condemnation, and death do not lie in wait for them as a threat or as a shadow over the peace of their spirit. They are concerned with knowing the truth, living in the light, conquering health, peace and wisdom forever. Those who come to me along the path of my teaching know that they cannot get lost because a divine light guides them. It is that light that gives them the certainty of the end and the true objective of life. My path is the path of good, disciples. Follow it, step by step, sowing it with good deeds, good thoughts, and good words, but never take account of your good deeds. Instead, I advise you to take a detailed account of your bad deeds, words and thoughts, so that you stop making mistakes. To me leave the good seed collected and you take the vain seed, scrutinize it so that you know the cause of your weakness, take care that it does not mix among the good grains and then exterminate it. Only goodness can give peace, joy, health, knowledge. Therefore, he who is abundant in love must be great in spirit. This is what I came to teach you when I inhabited the world with you, and this I come to remind you of now. If through Jesus, touching with my hand I healed the sick, also in this time I come to touch them to restore them to health and make them enter again into the miracle of life. Today I have no hands to touch your sick body, because I come in spirit, but my spirit can also touch you with its love and make you feel its presence. The blind men of that time, blind to the spirit, spilled the Master's blood and nailed the hands that healed by touching, caressing, and blessing, but they could not destroy my spirit, nor imprison it, nor nail it. He rose above the smallness of men, promising to return, since in those moments his word was not recognized or understood as the supreme truth. Here I am keeping my promise and waiting for humanity to recognize me. But if I were to ask you, what happened to that blessed body in which Christ dwelt? Could you answer me? I myself must be the one to tell you that that body was an instrument of divine love. Once its journey was over, once its lips were closed forever and its eyes also, that came down to earth to finish fulfilling its mission as a man, but as soon as the earth enveloped him in her bosom, that body, whose cells only vibrated to love, scattered in infinity to later fall like a rain of life on the very beings who had rejected the life that the Redeemer brought them. When you think that God himself became man to dwell with you, you come to feel the vanity of being so loved by the Father, and then you also think that you are the masterpiece of the Lord. But, truly I tell you that there is no work of the Father that is not masterful, and, furthermore, you must know that there are spirits whose perfection, beauty and elevation you cannot even imagine. Beyond you, there are works greater than those you know here, and also works of your brothers, superior to the works of men. Why believe that man is the greatest thing that exists today within the works of the Lord? You are just little children going a long way towards true greatness. You are great and perfect in that you are my work, but in terms of your works, you are still very small and imperfect. That is why I come to manifest myself as Master before you, to teach you new revelations that will take you to the summit of the good, of knowledge, of love, and unite harmoniously with all that is perfect. How is perfection going to exist in your world if there is pain, if there are the needy, vicious, crippled and oppressed, if there are proud, selfish and even murderous people? Happiness is the heritage of high places, and in your world I do not yet behold happiness. Today I come to leave you in this word my new message so that you emerge to a new life. Build your peace, build your world of happiness, using for it the virtue of my teachings. Certainly you have struggled a lot to procure yourselves comforts, pleasures and advances, but your ideals many times contain selfishness, wickedness, excessive ambition. Then instead of achieving happiness or peace, you collect pain, war and destruction, which is what you are collecting in these moments that you live. How are your works going to be perfect on earth, when I see you at enmity with the elements of nature that are the same from which you take life. My doctrine does not come to prohibit you from using the elements and forces of nature, but it comes to order and teach you to use them for good purposes. The elements of nature in your hands can transform from friends and brothers to judges who punish you severely. It was already time for men to reap the fruit of experience so that they no longer provoke the forces of the elements, because with all their science they will not be able to contain them. O humanity, always distant from me! Despite your forgetfulness, the memory of me has not left you, a world watered with my blood, I bring you my love again. Do you remember my examples from the second era? Listen. Finding myself on the outskirts of a village, the emissary of a powerful man came before me, who told me, Lord, how long have I had to walk to reach you? I told him, Blessed is he who seeks me, because he will always find me. Before whom do you stand? I asked him. Before the one who heals all suffering with his power. Are you perhaps the Son of God? I answered him, I am the beginning and the end, I am the resurrection and the life, I am the one who has come down from heaven to the world to save you. Do you see these men who follow me through the countryside, provinces and villages? Thus, you will follow me tomorrow, laying aside your royal cape and mingle among the humble and the poor. Truly I tell you that you have come to call me on behalf of your master, who wants me to cleanse him of his leprosy. Is that right? That man, surprised, felt overwhelmed with fear, but I told him, Do not be afraid, I have only told the truth, because that is why I came into the world. Then, that servant said to me, Lord, since you know, come to the house of my Lord, who is calling you. O man, I replied, Tell your master that it is enough for me that he has believed in me, that when you arrive, he will already be clean. That man walked away and soon his eyes witnessed the word of Jesus full of joy. At that moment, Matthew came to me and told me, Master, a woman is coming to look for you. I know, I replied, it is Mary, the Magdalene, who comes looking for me so that I can free her from the influences of the spirits that possess her. The disciple was surprised that I knew everything. She came before me, royally dressed. It was Magdalena, who had been looking for me for a long time to find in my eyes the light that could save her. In dreams she had seen the Nazarene freeing her from her filthy burden, and she came to me, impelled by her spirit eager for light and redemption. She fell at my feet, to the astonishment of all those present, and when they expected me to move away from her or at least have a reproachful phrase, I said, Why are you crying? You cry with sorrow and with joy, but I forgive you much, since you have sinned much. At that moment all the chains that bound her to the world fell from that child, and once free, she followed my footsteps as the most faithful of my disciples. That woman, who had been the shame and stain of her home and the abyss in the path of men, was transformed by a word of forgiveness into the most humble servant of the Master and later into the gentle support of Mary, when the time of pain covered everyone. I, who hear the voices of the spirits, heard that woman ask me, Lord, is it possible that I, with all my sin, am worthy of being with you in that last hour that you announce? Is it possible for me to truly serve you? O woman! I told her, Get up, you are already clean, cover yourself with the mantle of humility and return to the bosom of your family, go in search of my mother and follow her. Then, seeing in all faces the surprise portrayed, I said, I am the light of the world, which has come to illuminate the path of the lost in darkness. I am the liberator who comes to break the chains of captives. You have contemplated what you needed to see and you have seen it. The moment is closer when you all feel my life vibrate in your being. I was walking along a road towards a village, when I saw Mary, my mother, coming towards me saying, Oh, beloved son, I know that your lips have announced your imminent departure, and although my heart already knew it, I cannot help but tell you that I suffer infinitely for humanity. Yes, it is written, I replied, and it must be so, my sacrifice is necessary, it is necessary for the seed to die in the bowels of the earth so that it bears fruit and multiplies. This blood of your son, which when spilled will make your heart feel intense pain, will be like a torrent of life for man, whom I will leave as your children. My death will be life, and not for an instant will you and I be distant. Now I am going to the house of Lazarus, because he will soon go to the grave, but I will make him return from it, so that the name of my Father may be glorified. You go also, so that your presence comforts those women, because their pain will soon be great, and in your love they will find very sweet consolation. Then I met with my disciples again. It was already the last days of my stay among them. In this way I made them understand so that they would not be surprised. Peter wept and silently received my orders. John pressed my hands between his, when it was announced to him that he would be accompanied by my mother, so that both of them could console each other in the hours of trial. Thaddeus was already suffering from the separation from the Master, and I was still among them. The moment was tender and painful. More than the lips, the Spirit spoke. But I was the Word, and my word had to calm the immense pain accumulated in those hearts. I spoke as the father to the children, as the brother to the siblings, as the teacher to the little ones. O disciples, who have drunk with me the water of the thirsty pilgrim, who have endured the fatigue of the long journeys for going after my word and my works, truly I tell you that even if I leave your sight, I will not abandon you, and that if you want to carry me in your heart, resign yourself to my death, so that I may live in you and speak through your mouths. Listen, my disciples, to the last of my words. I left that room followed by my disciples, but stopping under the shade of a tree, I told them, the moment is near, but you can still taste the fruit of my word. Certainly you will remain like sheep among wolves, but you will not succumb, because my mantle will cover you. See how great the multitudes are. You will feed them as I did in the desert, and you will know how to multiply bread as I taught you. Thus I spoke to and caressed each one of my disciples through Jesus, while their eyes overflowed with tears, and in their hearts they expressed feelings full of tenderness and made countless promises to follow me. Today I do not want to remind you of the last 3 days that I spent in the world. This will be on another occasion, blessed people, in which I speak to you about the cenacle, about my last visit to the garden, where I retired to pray, and finally I will speak to you of my sacrifice. My peace be with you.